come on in. It's the last show of the year. Put your remotes down. You turn the volume up, and Shady, what? They stay for a while. They stay for a while, Shady.
You haven't said in a while.
I'm not having, but it's the last show of the year, people. That is Dave Hellman, NFL Insider. This is the brilliant Joy Taylor, Eagles all-time rushing leader. Stay for a while. Last show of the year, we got to kick it off with the Dallas Cowboys because I guess it was their last game of the year. Last night. And they got the W, but it was not clean. Dak Prescott, 2 interceptions, lost a fumble, but Cowboys still won by 14 points. But speaking of 14, Dak Prescott leads the league with 14 interceptions. And mind you, he missed several games. But after the game, quote saying, they're all frustrating somehow or another. These turnovers they've got to stop, close quote. Joy, let me come to you first. Last show of the year, super excited. Your nails look great, by the way.
Thank you.
They do, in fact, look great. We will get a close-up of those later.
We all turned up a little bit.
We look like we're going to a party after this.
We did.
Great.
And maybe
a little Gatsby vibe today.
Maybe we will. The show will be great. Joy, how concerning are Dak Prescott's turnovers?
I tried, Cowboys fans. All right, Dallas. I gave it a good college try. I was like, I'm not going to care about this game. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have anything to do with this playoff standings. If they play bad, if they play terrible, it's not going to matter. And then I watched the game and I was like, I didn't actually think that was going to happen. I was just kind of throwing it out there. Just take a deep breath, Cowboys fans. It's all good. Stop turning the ball over. Stop turning the ball over. What are we doing? I want to get on board.
You can.
I don't actually.
You can if you want to.
I don't want to get on board. I actually sent on the group chat a video of me sounding ridiculous last year. You watched it. Mm-hmm. I was yelling at Emmanuel about how far the Cowboys were going to go and how nothing that was going on in the regular season mattered for the Dallas postseason. It
stings, doesn't it? It hurts.
Yeah, it was. I said, look at this dummy, is what I said. So that's why I'm not going to be that dummy this year. But come on. One of those interceptions wasn't on Dak.
Of course
we can agree.
Yes.
We can all agree that one.
Yes.
Hunter shot.
We all agree what?
Yes.
One like
on Dak.
hot potato with the ball. You take it.
Y'all show me that stat and I'll believe it.
I watched it. And Dak
watched it with my eyeballs,
and he was
Shady.
Like,
the eye test.
I don't want this ball. You.
Pick. Right there, pick.
There's
another pick right there.
Look, you can't turn the ball over this much. It's not going to work in the postseason against a good team. Tennessee had no one out there. Okay, it was just, there's no reason that it should have went that way. Now look, they still covered, so in the end they recovered.
Yep.
So I guess you can take some solace in that. But I don't genuinely know how, if you're a Cowboys fan, other than the fact that you won and covered, that you feel good about the rate that they're turning the ball over.
Dave Hellman, how concerning, again, you've covered the Cowboys for 10 years. In case this is your first show on our last show of the year, Dave Hellman, 10 years with the Dallas Cowboys, be with them before they even moved to Frisco. Dave, how concerning are these Dak Prescott turnovers?
No. We said it yesterday. Words matter.
They do.
How concerning are these Cowboys turnovers? Because they're not all on Dak. Do we have the tweet? I got it in my notes.
Oh, he got
me. Do we have the tweet from Emmanuel Acho? I don't know. I didn't give him any notice, but in case you didn't see it, Emmanuel Acho. Okay, y'all got me. That interception was not Dak's fault.
I agree. That one.
The fumbled snap was not Dak's fault.
How can you say that?
The pick in Jacksonville to Noah Brown was not Dak's fault. Another one to CeeDee Lamb, bobbled up in the air. Like, it happens every week. And, I mean, it's comical at this point, right? It happens every week. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to deny facts. Like, they've turned the ball over 12 times since Thanksgiving. That's 6 games. They're averaging 2 a game. I looked this up. Over the last 3 years in the playoffs, teams that have lost the turnover battle are 5-16.
Eesh.
It is a huge indicator of success. It's terribly, terribly concerning. Now, this is the fun part about the Cowboys, though. They've been doing this since Dak came back, right?
True.
They're 8-2, and they're winning those games by an average of 2 touchdowns. Like, for as bad as it is, it really only bit them one time. Because even in Green Bay, when Dak threw 2 picks, those both happened in the first half.
Yes, sir.
They played clean football all the way through the second half and overtime.
True.
So it's bitten them one time. Like, I don't know what to make of it. It's concerning because I know that turnover differential is the easiest way to determine who wins and who loses a football game. But it hasn't really stopped them yet. So I don't know what to. I keep saying it's got to stop, and it keeps not stopping, and they keep winning. So I don't know what to do. But I will just remind you, it's not all Dak Prescott's
Shady,
fault.
2 weeks ago, you said that Dak Prescott Was ass.
Bleep, bleep.
Ass.
My mom, I can't. My mom
No,
quote-
I'm quoting you. Again, I don't
No,
curse.
don't
this
quote-
is
just say
comical.
bleep, bleep.
Okay, you said it was bleep, bleep?
There you go. There you go.
Last week, you retracted that statement. You said after watching Dak Prescott play,
played well.
349 yards against the Eagles, 42 rushing yards against the Eagles, he is no longer bleep.
No. Say played well that game. He had season highs in passing yards
Yes, sir.
and rushing yards.
Okay.
Played well that game. Yeah.
Where do you stand on Dak now? How concerning are the turnovers?
The turnovers. Oh my God. I mean,
Turnover.
the turnovers.
With an R.
You can't win like that. And I get what you're saying. Like right now they're winning games. That's cool. But in the playoffs is a different story. I've never seen so many people like defend the turnovers. Like Dak Prescott hasn't even played a full season and he's tied for the most turnovers or picks in the league.
Who's he tied with? I believe it's
Derek Carr.
Derek Carr.
You see where he's sitting at?
Oh,
He should be sitting with us.
not good.
You want to compare the records of those two teams?
Hold on.
Okay.
So real quick. So the real issue is, I'm very concerned. The real issue is this: when you go to the playoffs against really good teams, not with like backup quarterbacks playing, like star quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts. When he's there, teams like the Vikings, the Eagles, the Niners. Check this stat out: the Eagles, the Niners, and the Vikings are 25-0 this year when the team wins the turnover battle, right? So it's cool to play against the Titans. They got starters and third stringers like preseason / a real game. That's cool you win games like that. But in the real game, when you playing the Niners, right, you give them turnovers, they're gonna go down there and score, right? Eagles, you got lucky. You got 4 turnovers from us with our backup quarterback playing. It's gonna be a whole different story. And then
Will it be?
The last thing is this: what happens when you do that on the road against them type of teams? Think about that. Because a lot of times when we talk about the Eagles, that was against the Cowboys at home. Now you're on the road. We're talking about always getting the advantage.
Yeah.
Picking up the advantages, big advantage for us if you keep turning the ball over like that.
Dave, let me side with you to a degree. I'm going to side with you.
I know you want to.
I
you
do.
have
I do,
all
but
year.
I don't know how
can you?
I'm not worried about the turnovers because the turnovers are the outcome. I'm worried about the process. Today's point, some of those turnovers aren't all on Dak. You can go back to the Jacksonville game one. That's dependent. That was on Noah Brown, hit him in the chest. Last night, the ball to Hendershot. It's not on Dak. But the process worries me. Dave Hellman, there came a point.
Where you going?
To the big board.
On the
There
board.
came a point, that other interception that Dak Prescott threw.
Sure.
The one that was clearly on Dak. When y'all look at it, it was just a bad ball. This has nothing to do with a receiver getting hit in the hands. Like, this is man coverage. It's basic as it gets. You see the arrows designate that these defenders have those offensive players. Now, as the tape flies over and you see the tape from Dak's perspective,
Looks simple to me.
just throw the out route to the front shoulder. Just throw the out to the front
Give me
shoulder,
that.
not the back
Pick.
shoulder, and that's a pick. I'm not worried about the outcome. Dave, I'm worried about the process. Now, Byard is an all-pro safety. He has been a top safety for half a decade now.
Thank you for saying that.
So, yeah, Byard's a beast. He ain't no slouch. However, it's not to me about the outcome. It's about the process. It's about Dak Prescott not being able to make a simple out route to Dalton Schultz, who he's most comfortable with. Dalton Schultz, I believe, had the most targets on last year's team, if I'm not mistaken. So that is what I'm more concerned about than the turnovers. I'm worried about the process, big dog.
As long as I'm putting your tweets and your texts on blast, like what happened about 45 minutes later? Similar route to the same player, put a dot right on Dalton Schultz's hands in the corner of the end zone. Like, he can do this stuff. And to be fair and clear, Dak has thrown interceptions this season that were all on him, like probably 6 of them if I had to guess. But that is a normal number of interceptions for a guy who throws as much as Dak does, who's willing to try stuff as much as Dak does. That's what I say when I say I can live with things like that. It's not to excuse it, but you're going to throw half a dozen of those a year. That type of stuff happens.
Let's get to the chase. This is a more important conversation. Can the Cowboys win the playoffs with Dak playing like that then, Dave? Can they actually win in the playoffs with these kind of turnovers?
I hate to be on this side of the argument because, as Joy and I point out all the time, history suggests that they won't because they haven't in a long time. But yes, I think this team can do it because it hasn't stopped them all year. And you can say, like, oh, what about when you go up against good teams? They're 5-1 against teams with a winning record this year. That includes Minnesota, who they beat down. That includes Philly, who they beat, albeit with a backup quarterback. That includes both of 2 of the 3 wildcard teams right now. New York and Washington beat them pretty convincingly. So, yes, I think they can win this way playing this type of football because they keep doing it. Like, that's the crazy thing. It's so weird. Ball security is like from Pee-wee level, right? It's the ball, the ball, the ball. Everybody says it at every level of football, and the Cowboys keep not doing it. and it keeps not mattering. Again, they're still first in the league in third down conversion rate, 57% over their last 3 games. They're scoring 35 points a game. Only one team has held them below 27 points since Dak came back. So they're winning and winning convincingly most of the time playing this way. I don't recommend they keep trying this in the playoffs, but the body of work says that they can.
Joy, where do you stand on that? Can the Cowboys?
I'm with you, Shay.